Hello and welcome to the guide on American F4s. I will not be covering the F4F, the FGR, Japan F4s, or the Israeli Curtises. Now, I will be mentioning that I'm also covering the premium, so yeah, for those people who think it's terrible, it is not. I will just quickly disclaim that. I'll talk about it later. So, let's start on the F4C. As you can see, this is the earliest iteration of the F4. This aircraft comes with no gun and no flares. You will have to use the gun pod. I do advise you, please get the gun pod. It is a good pod. And you will get AIM-7Ds. Now, I want to explain that the AIM-7 at this BR is absolutely a must-take. Like, AIM-7s are really good for this BR, and AIM-9Es are actually pretty okay. The AIM-7s, whoa, yeah, something else. Everybody will be flying high usually, and you could just snipe them from 10 kilometers away. Ideal range for AIM-7Ds, about 5 to 10 kilometers. Please do not be firing any lower than that, unless they are head-on. You might get a kill if it's head-on. Unless it's like 2 kilometers or lower, then you won't get a kill. But the thing about the radar on this is they can be flared. It's only got one radar mode, so it's kind of bad, you know. Now, the next F4 we're going to be talking about is... Now, before we move on, I do want to mention something. So, please do not be that guy who thinks I can strap about 300 rockets to my aircraft and think, yes, let me shoot these off in flares. This is usually not going to work, and it's just going to drag the performance of your aircraft. It can work in some rare occasions, it's just not worth it, the sacrifice. Next aircraft is the F4E. Now, personally, this is my favorite F4 to play. Reason being, look at this. It has a 20mm Gatling cannon already built in. You do not need the gun pods. Let me rephrase. You do not need 4 guns. Okay? Please do not be that one guy. I've seen it, many people do it. Add all 3 gun pods to this thing and ruin the aircraft. The whole reason why they have the gun pod here is so it can turn well in dogfights. It's equipped with 90 flares. 2 flare pods on the bottom here, which are already built into the aircraft, and flares on around here. That is a really good combination of flares. Do not take any shaft. You will not need it at this BR unless you're getting up tier, which again, it's not worth it. Just fly close to the ground. Just fly with 90 flares. That is really good for this BR. It's also got a really good payload of bombs and stuff and missiles. It has the AIM-7Es, which are actually really good. Fire them around 10 kilometers or under. Do not go any above 3 kilometers, please. Fire the AIM-9Js around 3 kilometers. Same with the AIM-9Es, about 2 kilometers. And yeah, so that's the F4E. Really good for dogfights and stuff. So you have no drag or anything. It's pretty fast as well. The F4J. Now, this one I was not really happy with. I was playing this aircraft and I found it an absolute disgrace. The F4E was the easiest thing I had to grind out. This was the hardest aircraft I've ever grinded out. It's basically an F4S, but it's worse at stock. When it's upgraded, it's pretty much just an upgrade from the F4S, but at stock it's absolutely terrible. It has good radar, I guess. It has yeah, it has okay missiles. It has the AIM-9Ds, or it also has AIM-9Gs. Yeah, so it has those. So it's pretty good armament and stuff. It has a gun pod, no built-in gun sadly, so you're back to the drag. But yeah, I do not advise anybody to take an overload of bombs. I will tell you how to use bombs in an F4 in a minute. Okay? Don't ruin your aircraft by bringing something like this. Your aircraft does not have to look like it's about to visit north of Vietnam. Okay. Right. Next aircraft. F4S. It's basically a copy of the F4J. It's just a little bit worse than the fully kitted out F4J version. It has good stock missile. Well, stock. It doesn't come stock because it's a premium, but it has good missiles. You know, A9Hs as well, A9Fs, AIM-7S. Sorry. Gun pod, of course, because you know, got guns. Now, the thing I will say about this is the flares in this one and the F4J are a bit of a disgrace. It's supposed to be taking, well, it has about 16 countermeasures, which is okay. But if you consider that you're going to be taking about 40 flares, 20 shafts, so you can get around radar missiles, it's terrible. It will last you barely anything. I will teach you how to play these aircrafts in a minute. Now, on to base bombing. This applies for the F4E, the F4J, and the F4S. The loadout that you should be using is this. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use anything else with this. You can. I'm just saying this is a good loadout to follow if you want to learn how to base bomb and still be as fast as a fighter. Well, not as fast as a fighter, just close enough to be able to catch up. You need one incendiary bomb. This is going to cover about 1/3 of the base. Each 3 on these 500-pound bombs are going to be a third of a base. At least I presume so, because it just kills a base anyways. So, select a bomb series to drop all of them at once. Select a keybind for it, and then just go ahead and press that button once, and you've got all these bombs dropped at once, and it's a whole base destroyed. This will give you about 1.5k in the F4S and about 800 in the other vehicles. Now, for the F4C, we do not have incendiary bombs, so it's a little bit Okay, on the past times of recording this, they did not have incendiary bombs. I did not see that, I'm sorry. Okay, yeah, so same thing applies to the F4C. What am I saying? Okay, on to how you play these aircraft. On the F4C, your missiles are to be fired. Your AIM-7D is to be fired within 10 to 5 kilometers. Nothing lower than that, please. Because that is just going to waste your missiles. And of course, you don't have the ability to afford that, because they are good missiles here. Your AIM-9Es are to be fired within 2.5 to lower kilometers. Do not fire them below 1 kilometer, you will not hit it. You are not that guy, pal. Secondary weapons on the F4E are going to be AIM-7E. Kind of plays the same as the AIM-7D, I suppose. You could just fire them from 10 to 4 kilometers. The AIM-9Js are supposed to be fired around 3 kilometers or lower. Same with the F4C, no missiles to be fired under 1 kilometer, please, bro. I see so many people do it, they're not gonna hit anything. F4J, I'm gonna talk about the top ones. So, AIM-9Gs are to be fired within 3.5 to lower kilometers. AIM-7F are to be fired within 10 or lower kilometers. And the same with the same with the F4S. A9H, so basically A9Gs, just a little better, so 3.5 I guess. But yeah, that's that. Now I'll talk about how you play these aircraft within flight. So for the F4C, okay, I'll list this for the F4C, the F4J, and the F4S. You want to fly like about 5 kilometers or more away from the targets. Like stay out of the, the zone of the enemy. You're just going to sit around while your teammates are dogfighting them. And when they are, when the enemies are slow or, losing speed or anything, or they're trying to run away, or, they're not very fast or just easy kills, you've got to swoop in, vulture them, with a missile, gun, whatever you want, and then you're going to fly out of there. Pretty simple. For the F4E, you can do that, but you can play this as a dogfighter because of the gun. But I will admit, it is still not the best dogfighter. It can get outturned pretty easy. Now, I do want to mention that this was just a simple guide. This is for people who haven't ever flown an F4 and are doing terrible in it and want to know how to play it properly. This is only information I've gathered off from my own experiences and my own times playing the F4, because it's one of my main aircrafts I use. This is not proper aeronautics or research I've done. I have not got a PhD in aeronautics. Please do not worry if anything's wrong here. If it is wrong, please do let me know. Just do it in a friendly manner. Thank you very much, and that's all. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.